What's up, Pleb Nation? I hope you're having a very glorious Tuesday. My name is Sam and welcome back to SWTOR Central. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a few things that you can do with your operations frame in the interface editor. Now, I had a question on Twitter and also one on YouTube specifically about my operations frame. So what I'm going to do is just basically show you that, like I just said, and I'm now repeating it. God, I hate it when other people do that. I don't know why I'm doing it. So yeah, we're basically just going to jump in game now. I'm going to show you all of that cool and juicy stuff. So yes, let's get into it. Okay, so here we are in game, and the first thing that you're going to want to do is go to your interface editor. You can do this by pressing escape on your keyboard and it'll bring up this options menu here. Or you can click on the cogs on your menu bar and then click on the hashtag, or at least it looks like hashtag, but it's actually a grid, interface editor there. So that's where you want to be, in the interface editor, which is going to bring up this very complicated looking screen. Now, I'm going to target this video directly at the operations frame, but please bear in mind that you can do like anything with the interface editor. You can change any element of your interface. As you can see with mine, like I've changed mine a lot to how I want it, and you can do the same whichever way that you want to do it, right? But today we're going to be targeting the operations frame, which is this thing here. So I'm just going to go ahead and select it, and I'm going to drag it like this. And I'm going to make it bigger just for the purpose of this video, just because I know that my screen is in a much higher resolution, which means everything's smaller. So I'm just going to find a way to scale this upwards. Looks like I'm going to have to use the global scale. So just ignore what I'm doing for now. This isn't part of the editing the operations frame. God damn it, global scale, please, what are you doing to me? Okay, I think that's gonna do. Right, so this is my operations frame here. You can see I'm dragging it around. There's me and one other person inside of this ops group currently. Now, the important thing to point out here is going to be that you cannot do this, like you cannot edit your operations frame effectively unless you're in an operations group. So make sure you get yourself in an operations group first, so the next time you do an ops run or a world boss or something, and then take the time, just let your group know, guys, 5 minutes please, I just need to edit my interface. Just do that really quickly. So obviously the first thing you want to do is highlight your operations frame, just like I have here. You can do so by just clicking on the tab or just clicking inside of the box. Just make sure that you have your operations frame selected. Now, what you want to do is bring over this here. This is like your editing box right here. This is where all of your options are going to be. Now, the scale, straight off the bat, this is going to be the size of your ops frame, okay? So you can make it really tiny, like, for me, I can't see that at all. But if I bring it all the way up, obviously it's a decent size for me. I can see the names, I can see the health bars. But your interface probably looks a lot different from mine. And what I mean is my operations frame probably looks a lot different. Because I have changed it. Now this alpha thing here is like the transparency. So if you move this along, you can see it starts to go like sort of just see-through, transparent. And so if you don't want it like all up in your face while you're doing a raid or something, then you can change that. And then you also have this enabled box. Now the enabled box basically means on and off. So if you uncheck it, it turns your operations frame off. But obviously when you check it again, it turns it back on. So when it's not enabled, you will never see it. At any point will you ever see it. Now I'm just going to re-enable it here. So obviously we need to be able to see it. Now the next thing we have here is Debuff Scale. Now this is the debuffs that will appear on each character. So I like to have mine at the highest, just because I like debuffs to stand out. I like to know who's in danger and what they are in danger from. I wish I could give you an example. If I can find one, maybe a past screenshot, I'll put it on screen for you. And the next one is going to be Buff Scale. These are like your character buffs. So for example, on my assassin, I have Mark of Power. Whenever I use that, it gives me my buffs, which you can see on my character over there. So if I was to turn this upwards, you can see it there. It's moving upwards all the way up, and then you can effectively see what buffs I have on me. I don't think that's going to be important for a raid group. Maybe for PvP, if you want to see it on your enemy, so you can see what current buffs they are using. And then sure. So I'm going to turn it back down to there. I don't mind it being like that. And the next one is going to be party spacing. Now this is exactly what it sounds like. It's just basically going to lengthen or widen the party spacing. I know it's not going to look very effective here because there's only 2 people. What this basically means is that within the operations frame, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different parties, so to speak. So one full party is 4 group members. We know that from flashpoints, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 would be here. Another 4, another 4, and then another 4, and then another 4, and so on and so on and so on. So when you increase party spacing, it increases the gap between each of those 4 different groups, sorry, each of those 8 different groups that are inside your operations frame. And that will make sense to you when you have a much larger operation, so don't worry. And then we have groups per row. So this, literally, you're about to see what this is gonna do. There we are. Now I don't see many people using this last option. Basically what this last option does is makes it just 4 all the way along, like this. So you would have 4 there, 4 there, 4 there, so on, so on, so on. It would never be underneath. Like that's like all up in your face, especially for me. So yes, and if you go back down to 5, then it's going to show you 4 up here. Sorry, it's going to show you 5 up here, and then 1 below. And then if you go back down to 4, which is like the normal way to have it, I suppose, it will show you 4 at the top and 4 at the bottom. That's 4 different parties. Okay, it's very important to remember that. Then we have groups visible. So this basically is just going to turn off each section of the operations frame. So if you only want to be able to see one group in the operations frame, then you just go down to 1. Or if you want to be able to see 2, then you go up to 2. So for example, if you're in a 16-man operation and you're a healer, then you can turn off each part of the operations frame, so you can only see the group that you are like specifically healing, which might make it easier for you, and then there's less on screen for you to be worried about. But obviously I like to have mine all the way up. I don't know about anybody else. Now let's go into like some of the good stuff, which this is some of the things that were being requested, and this is health width. Now literally I'm just going to scroll this and you're just going to see what it does. Watch what it does here. There we are. That's literally all it does. That's how you tamper with it, right? I think mine was about here. I mean, I can reset mine anyway, so I'm not too bothered. So if you're a healer, this can be a good thing. I mean, I don't think you want it too far out. I don't think you want to be able to. I don't think you want to underestimate like what's there or something. But yes, it just makes it longer. There you go. It might be easier to see health text. So we'll get to that in a second. Actually, then we have health height. So this is obviously the health bar once again. We can make it much thicker, so you can see it much clearer. So if you're a healer and you really struggle to see health bars, then this could really, really help you. Now I know this video is like kind of sloppy and it's not very well thought out, but you know, this is like a very spontaneous video for me. I was like, you know what, heck it, let's just record this and we'll just help some people out with the operations frame. I'm just going to go through each option individually. So this last one here is show health text, and when I check this, it's going to show me percentages and health on a character. So obviously it's not showing the entire amount of HP. Oh wait, yes it is, because we're level synced. There we go. So I currently have 8,090 HP, and that's 100% of my HP. So if we were to go back up again and then we adjust the health width, you can see how that also affects the text that is on top of the health. So obviously having it much larger like this is easier for you to see that text on there. And then we have show only removable debuffs. Now this can be a very good thing or a very bad thing, and ideally you really shouldn't have this checked unless you're very familiar with what you're going into. So for example, if you're doing the Dread Council hard mode, then you can check this and be safe about checking that, because the only things that are really going to be a threat are things like the death mark. Now I know that's going to be foreign to some people, but basically if you're unsure of whether to have this checked or not, then don't check it, okay? Just leave it unchecked. But the bottom line for show only removable debuffs is going to be, it will only ever show you a debuff on the debuff tray if you can cleanse it. That's literally it. So like I said, it can be a very good thing for a healer, because if they see a debuff pop up, they can be like, boom, cleanse it. But at the same time, it can be a bad thing, because if you're going into a situation where you don't know the fight very well and a debuff comes up that can't be cleansed and you're a healer, then you kind of need to know that that person has that debuff, because you won't know to heal them or not, right? So for example, like stacks, you know, a debuff, stacks do count as a debuff. So if your tank starts getting stacks or something, you need to know, because they're going to take more damage. So it's not always ideal to have this checked. So yes, and you know, like with anything with the interface editor, it's going to be very preference based. So just change what you want. That being said, guys, that's like pretty much it for the operations frame. If you want me to make like an in-depth video for you on the interface editor and how to use it, and maybe we'll go through it and we'll make like a really cool interface for a new player or something, let me know what you think about that. Actually, do you know what? If you look in the top right corner of the screen on this video, there should be a little eye. It'll be like a card that you can click on. there'll be like a verting thing there. So what I'll do is I'll just leave a little verting thing there for you, and you can decide whether you want me to do that video or not. And then if you want me to, I'll do it. I'll happily do it. So that's going to be the end of this video. A huge shout out to Shariz just for helping me make this ops group really quickly so I could shoot this video, because it was very spontaneous, it wasn't planned or anything. So I hope this video helps you, and like I said, just check out that little verting thing in the top right corner of the screen. Yes, that is it. Peace out, plebs. I will catch you in the next one.